I'd like to introduce myself. I am Dr. Andy Torrance. I'm the founder of the Veterinary Pathology Group, originally Torrance Diagnostics Services. The company was founded in 2001, and we've enjoyed a wonderful 20 years of developing the company and working with some of the top veterinary professionals in the UK, delivering a high-quality diagnostic service. I'm passionate about cytology, and I'm also passionate about pattern recognition in diagnosis. It's been a wonderful career for me. Today I'm going to tell you about another story which has been running in parallel, if you like, with the company here, which is a conservation project that my family and I got involved with, which started in 2007 when, on a whim, I bought a small acreage of a floodplain in North West Devon. What happened subsequently is going to be the subject of this series. I think when we choose to become veterinary surgeons, often at quite a young age, it's because we want to be in contact with the world as it is, the world of animals and the world of nature. And our interest in the veterinary course is often motivated by this desire to get close to reality, if you like, of the world that we live in, the pathogens that are there, the diseases, how they interact with the animals that we work with. And we also, nearly all of us, have a strong sense of a love for animals, or an engagement with animals, a desire to know more about them. For me, that was a very easy sort of transition from that into also thinking about the way landscapes work and the way animals fit within a landscape, pathogens fit within a landscape, and also how landscapes can develop pathologies from often human practices. This conservation story begins with a small plot of land that we bought on a whim in North West Devon, the floodplain, where we witnessed an incredible experience associated with wilding of previously agricultural land. It was almost miraculous, the return of fauna and flora to that area. That sparked off a great interest in how we manage small areas within farms for nature. And the cumulative effect of that across the country would be a massive bonus for natural diversity. Within these projects, I found an incredible outlet for my way of thinking as a pathologist. I've moved, if you like, from looking at pathological patterns in animals to try and make a diagnosis, to looking at pathological patterns in landscapes. And in this country, these are largely associated with the way we manage water, rivers, river catchments, and the management of slurry, fertilizer, and drainage. This image sums up a good farm in relation to water management and a bad farm in relation to water management. As you're looking at it, the bad farm clearly is on the left and the good farm is on the right. And with my interest in small acreages, if you look at the buffer zone between the farm and the river on the right side, this is an area where wilding projects and fauna and floral diversity can become absolutely exuberant and wonderful. And in being there, it acts as a filter for the various effluents that come from agriculture on the land higher up. On the left side of the image, you see what we would term a bad farm, where you can see pollution of the river by livestock, introductions of E. coli and so on, which can be a serious problem for human health. We also look at the soil pollution with tremendous soil runoff from the maize that is planted right up to the riverbank. And we also look at the decrease in pH that creates in rivers associated with forestry that is planted right up to the riverbank. We have a close look at the good farm, bad farm, and there are many subtleties in the way that we manage our land for the best possible water quality. In 2007, on a whim, we bought a floodplain up in North West Devon, initially 11 acres, subsequently expanded to 30 acres. The floodplain had been drained and was a very traditional looking British farming landscape. We stopped farming there because we used it as a family retreat at a time when the business was causing a lot of pressure. And a miracle occurred. As soon as the farming ceased, the soil memory reappeared, and suddenly we realised we owned a calm grassland site, which is one of the rarest habitats in the world, specific to North West Devon, rarer than rainforest, and incredibly diverse. And fauna and flora poured back in a way that was totally unexpected, and to my eyes, miraculous. I'm going to share with you this sequence of images. The original images taken in 2007, the first time I saw this agricultural floodplain, and then subsequent images showing the transition that wilding creates within that habitat in terms of the incredible diversity and the beauty of it that develops when the agricultural constraints are removed. My wife was the first person to notice that an incredible thing was happening on this floodplain. There were several major turning points in our understanding of what was happening in this project. One is a natural one, which I'd like to share with you. When we were sitting with our sons, quite young at the time, on our decking in the evening, and we saw a hobby diving to try and capture a nocturnal bat that was flying past. And the nocturnal bat was able to jink with its sonar at the last minute, seeing the hobby fly straight past. And as your eyes came down off that incredible sight, there was a barn owl flying across the floodplain in search of voles. And this had an incredible effect on our family. We realised that we had something very special and natural. My wife was also very inspired by what she could see, and she got in touch with Devon Wildlife, who came along and looked and were also very excited and explained to us that we had a calm site and that it had the opportunity to become incredibly diverse and very, very interesting. They have supported us now throughout the project with tree planting, calm restoration, and finally designated the site as a Devon nature site in 2018. The final point I wanted to talk about as a major turning point was the publication of Wilding by Isabella Tree and subsequently Rewilding by Ben McDonald. These two seminal books on rewilding explained to us what had happened and what we were doing, and gave us the inspiration to start working with English nature towards higher tier stewardship and a complete floodplain restoration, which is the next part of the project. One of the most extraordinary and inspiring things about this project for us as a family has been the influence that it's had on our sons. When we first bought this piece of land, they were perhaps 11 and 8, and they helped us plant trees, but they were quite disconnected with nature, growing up in the sort of modern environment. And then subsequently they became incredibly inspired by nature through connection. I think for future generations, it's the connection with nature that is absolutely critical. It's critical to our mentality, to our state of mind, and also to our survival. Everyone now talks about the decline in insects. Without insects, we are lost in terms of food production in this country. I cannot overemphasize the importance of nature recovery for us as species. And this goes right back to my feelings of why I wanted to become a veterinary surgeon. I wanted that connection with other species and with nature as it stands, and with pathogens and so forth. And here we have an opportunity to bring us back into nature for future generations. For me personally, this has been an incredible educational experience, a learning process. I've had wonderful input from the West Country Rivers Trust, who I'm a trustee, and also Devon Wildlife. And I've come to understand our environments in Devon and take a huge satisfaction in the sheer beauty of the Devon wilderness as it stands, what floodplains should look like, how our rivers should be. These things both haunt me, but also completely inspire me with the next stages of our projects. I've chosen to do this series because I'd like to share with you some of the detail of how we achieved this incredible miracle on a small piece of land, often more by accident than design, but how in that learning process we can move forward with the development of water and nature in small areas on farms. And if we do this in a widespread way across the farming environment, this will have a massive impact on nature recovery and diversity recovery within the West Country and within the United Kingdom.